So hello and welcome to another episode of Coffee with SamPaul, back at my local Sorelli's, and I'm today joined by lovely Sonya from Icebreakers, one of her businesses in wellness. So I guess the good place to start for someone like myself who doesn't know a lot about what you do, how did you get started on this journey of Icebreakers? And you mentioned another business off camera?
Yes, Connecting Souls Wellness.
Connecting Souls Wellness.
So Connecting Souls Wellness started about 7 years ago when I left my marriage at the time, and I'd been married for half my life, and I just needed to find myself, and so I went on this journey within to find myself, and from doing that I found the love for wellness modalities, and I suppose I'd always known that I had it. We all have it, but I hadn't really done anything with it. Because we're asleep.
It's true.
We're asleep. We're unconscious.
Yeah.
So I became very conscious, and then I started building on that. So over the last five or 7 years, I've been working in modalities such as Reiki and coaching, life coaching. I did my NLP certificates. I did numerous other massaging, and I held retreats and workshops, and started to create stuff. And of course we were working through our limiting beliefs and thinking, when you've come from what we call the matrix world of the 9 to 5 of, most of the time I think I've literally done every job you could possibly do, from the cafes to the corporate world to
what would be the most way out sort of job that you've done?
Way out job.
Like, something that like people would look at you and go, oh, you'd never have done that job.
Oh.
Because it sounds like you've done a lot.
I have done a lot.
Or maybe something you didn't expect that you would ever do. Because I come from a background, I've worked for 21 years in fruit and veg.
Yes.
If you told me 22 years ago I was going to work in fruit and veg for half my life, I would have laughed.
Yeah.
So
well,
to me,
it's not really the way out one. I suppose it was going back to the beginning. But last year I worked at Foodland as a checkout person. Okay. And at my age now, I never would have thought I would have gone back to checkout. That was one of my first jobs as a teenager, the checkout chick. And then going back to that last year, just from a place of, needing some money.
Yeah.
But I went back, but I really enjoyed it because it brought in everything, because I'm a people person. So I like to talk to people, and I like to, and it was funny because I felt myself coaching people through the checkout, because you get your regulars. So you're having a chat with them as they're going through the checkout, and even the people that you work with. So it was fun and it was interesting, but it was also a short term for a long-term goal.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But, sorry.
No, go on.
I was going to say, funny story. Because I work, as I said, at a fruit shop, and part of my job is working on the checkout. So I'm like you were on the checkout serving people. And I've actually often joked, when you say to someone, oh, how you going? And they're like, oh, I'm doing all right, but no one wants to hear if I wasn't anyway, kind of thing, that whole mentality. Because, let's face it, no one wants to hear about someone else having a bad day. When it comes down to it, that's like our human nature. We'd rather hear that they're doing good, At least a lot of people like that. I'm not so much like it. But I kind of jokingly said, look, consider me like the hairdresser.
Yes.
While I'm serving you, you can tell me whatever you want, and I'm going to listen, and I'm going to care.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, okay. And so now I get more and more customers actually, like kind of having a bit of an offload while they're being served, Like, I should probably charge them, but I don't, because I enjoy doing it like you. I'm a people person. I like talking to people, and I think it's great having that interaction. I think COVID, I always come back to that because that was probably the biggest time when we all got cut off from each other in so many ways. And I think it just reminded me just how much I actually enjoy being around people, even though for a long time anxiety stopped me doing it, So, anyway, I'm doing it again.
No, it's okay. It's all good. But it, you know what it is, though? It's so true because, and this is one of the reasons that I love what I do. Yeah. Because the tribe, like Icebreakers the tribe, and that's like the important part, because Icebreakers the tribe is so much more than an ice bath session. Yeah. It's a tribe. It's a place where people come because, we do meditation and we do breath work as well, and we have tribe. And I mean, yesterday we did the City to Bay.
Oh, nice.
So there was
I saw some photos about that.
Yeah,
That's
so there
awesome.
was 13 of us, and there was 3 groups. You know, it was the fast walkers, and then we all sort of veered out, and then we had the middle walkers, which I was sort of sticking in to make sure that there was somebody. I don't want to leave anybody behind.
Yeah, of course.
And then there was a group of slower walkers. But in looking at the times, we were all only 15 minutes apart from each other.
Wow, that's good.
So, you know, we all still sort of carried through. And then at the end, we had a big area set up and a tent, and we had a couple of ice baths that we could go in, and just encouraging people to come up and have a chat with us and find out what we're all about, because we're relaunching back to the S04 South on the 14th of October for our big launch back to the beach. We've been running at home through winter for our hardcorers. And you definitely needed to be a hardcorer, because, you know, we've come into some real cold weather, and, you know, we're getting into an ice bath at, you know, 5 degrees. So, you know, but one of the things is that even those people have said, I feel so much stronger and more powerful now, the resilience I have to be able to get through that, because, you know, you'll talk to people, and, you know, I'll talk about it all the time, and you know, people go, I'll say, oh, you need an ice bath. You're okay, you need an ice bath. And, you know, and they go, oh no, I couldn't possibly do that. And I'm like, you can actually do everything,
but that right there is the reason why they can't, because they believe they can't.
Exactly.
Because I've actually had a few people now on the show, like yourself, that are in the kind of wellness space and so forth, the holistic sort of approach to dealing with things. And one thing that keeps coming up time and time again with other guests, as it has with you, is that our mind plays such a big part in what we can or can't do.
Yes.
And it's fascinating. It's such an amazing thing.
Oh, and you know, it's funny, I was writing some extra pieces to add to my new website that we've just launched, and, you know, everything's always progressing and adding in as well. So I was writing into it this morning, and I was writing in and speaking into how much has changed, even just from my life. How everything has become so automated. You know, turn on the air conditioning, it's cold. Turn on the air conditioning because it's hot. Turn on the heating because it's cold. Remote control. I mean, I can remember as a kid getting off the lounge, click, 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 turning the TV. My mum would be like, would you stop clicking that? But, you know, you think about it now, it's click, click, click. And now it's probably like you could do it from your phone.
I'm pretty sure you can.
I mean, you could do everything from your phone. I mean, I've got a smart TV.
Yeah.
And I didn't even have a TV. My partner said, oh, no, let's get a TV. Mainly because he wants to watch football.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's all hooked up to your phone.
Yeah.
And I can't use it for anything else unless I bring up the internet, which I have on my phone.
Yeah.
And so it's all linked in. And even a couple of years ago when I was working in a job, like a normal job, the 9 to 5.
The Matrix.
When I was in the Matrix.
Okay, Neo.
For some of the programs, I had to log in through my phone.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is weird. Like, once if I didn't have my phone, once if my phone was flat, I can't do my work at work. And I'm thinking, wow, how much we are relying on all of this stuff. And then I speak to people when I'm out and about and talk to people, and, you know, they're like, oh, you know, they couldn't do the ice bath, like you said, because, you know, they don't believe they can, because their whole entire world has become so automated. Sometimes I think that people have forgotten that they're human.
Yeah.
And they're almost turning into organic robots.
Yeah.
That they might physically be organic, they're not made out of machines, but the mentality is like a machine, like a robotic.
Yeah.
I can't do this, I can't do that. And I'm thinking, what's happened even over the last 20 years is that everything's, and look, in saying that, I think that technology, there's some really good things about technology, of course, and through, you know, medical things and being able to do this, like what we're doing, being able to talk to people overseas on Facebook and things.
Yeah, it's good.
But to actually, like, everything's in balance, though.
Exactly,
you
right.
know,
100%.
everything has a pros and a con.
Yeah.
And I think we keep swinging the pendulums too far one way, and then we realise and we have to bring it back.
Yeah.
And so I really try to live in this motto in my own life that, and I know right now I'm tipping it one way, but I really try to work hard to be consciously living in balance.
Yeah.
so that I'm not swinging out here or swinging out here.
Yeah.
I'm sitting in balance majority of the time.
Yeah.
Like, as I say, right now with the launch and with the ice, the City to Bay yesterday, and, got the launch, and I've got a retreat to run before that, and I've got to go into state for some work. So my scales are tipping a little bit one way at the minute, but, it's a short term.
Yeah.
And I think that if you can become aware of a short term and go, okay, I'm penciling out some time here, just this short term, to come back into balance. It's when people forget to do that and they swing out here and they stay out here.
Yeah.
And they get so overwhelmed and everything happens and and then they forget about who they are and they don't do anything and everything's click and then it all goes to the shit.
100%.
And that's when I said to him, you need an ice bath. You need an ice bath to shock you back.
Yeah.
It's almost like the defibrillators.
Yeah.
Not that we want you to have a heart attack in them.
Thank you.
And there are some medical things that we would say, definitely, you shouldn't be ice bathing. But, if you just think about that shock, though, you get into that ice bath and it is almost like that defibrillator. It almost resets you, resets you back into almost being human. That's how I feel. I feel like it's this rebirth of almost coming out of the womb, come out of the water, you're being birthed out of the water, right?
Yeah.
It's this whole thing, and that's what excites me about this, because I started ice bathing for myself personally probably about 3 years ago.
Okay.
When I was going through a really tough time in my life, and I had to come back to myself again. And I was really struggling for a good 12 months, and I was ice bathing in this time. And what I felt about myself was that every time I got in the bath, there was fear, of course, because I'm going, it's going to be cold and it's going to be uncomfortable. And people say, it's cold and I don't like cold. And it's like, you know what, we don't like a lot of things that we have to do in our life. And this is where I feel like, and I know this is going to be really politically incorrect, but I'm going to say it because I am a little bit politically incorrect.
I'll allow it.
Is that I think that people have become soft.
Oh, 100%.
People have become so soft and mushy that they have no resilience and they have no, I don't want to say backbone, but they just don't have that hardness. I'm really trying to use my words here, because you don't have to be hard to be powerful.
Yeah, no, 100%.
And you don't have to be all masculine to be powerful either. But and what I always say is that you have to come back to the self-worth.
Yes.
It's all about the self-love, the self-worth, what your value is, what your purpose is. That if you don't believe in yourself and you're always looking externally for that validation and people to tell you and to do the things, then you're going to always be in that same circle. Yeah, that cycle of never getting anywhere. And we've all been there. I was there. Yeah. That's where I was.
Yeah.
And by going into the ice baths, every time I was getting cracked, basically. I sort of use those words as in the ice, cracking.
Yeah.
Which is why when I sort of came up with that thing of going icebreakers. Because for me, it's like connecting souls. It has two definitions. Connecting souls for me is connecting back to your soul, to yourself, but connecting to other like-minded souls. The icebreakers is the same. For me, it's about breaking down the ice for yourself, but then also breaking the ice with getting out of your comfort zone, being able to speak to people, being able to come into a group atmosphere and actually break the ice with people. I mean, that's one thing that most people say, I'm just breaking the ice, And that takes a lot for people to be able to, people like us, we talk to anybody, but not everybody's like that.
Yeah, no,
and
exactly.
So by
I never used to be like that.
No, well, I was really shy as a child. I was really shy. I was nervous. But I pushed myself to do music throughout high school, so it meant I had to perform.
Oh my God, that's like exactly the same as me. Not so much in high school, more just out of high school, but I pushed myself to get on stage.
Yes.
And that was the beginning of the journey that got me out of that shyness.
Exactly.
I tell people that I was shy as a kid, and they right.
Yeah.
Because they can't believe like what I'm like now.
Exactly.
But, and I'm guessing you're probably the same.
Oh, look, 5 years, went all through. I was in the band, had to do all of that stuff and, get up on the stage and perform. And I can still see myself now playing the flute, and I can still hear that vibration of the ooh as I'm blowing into the flute. Ooh, I'm going, I hope everybody can't hear this, but I can't control my breath right now.
It's vibrato.
Yeah, that's right. We're all the same.
Yeah.
And it's all about how your mind works. It's all
Exactly.
about what your belief is. And, you know, what they say, if you believe it, you can see it.
Exactly.
Or if you see it, you can do it. And
yeah. And so on and so forth.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow. I swear I could sit here listening for many more minutes and hours, but we probably should round things up.
Awesome.
If people want to find out more, we'll get some links from you and put them in the description of the video, so they can reach out directly and find out more about what you're doing. And thank you so much for coming on the show.
My pleasure.
It's been really insightful once again. One of the best things about this show is I get to meet all these people that are doing things different than what I do, and I learn so much. You know, like it's just awesome. And thank you to Sorelli's for the lovely coffee.
Absolutely.
Which you didn't even
I'm
barely
still
even
going.
touch.
I didn't want to be rude.
No judgment. No. But no, thank you so much, Sonya, and thank everyone for watching. And
Thank you.
Yeah.